let's make some butter. Guys, I've got a really quick video for you just to show you how you can make butter when you have, for example, failed at making nice cream and it's gone just a step too far, which happens to me all the time. So I've got some double cream or thickened cream essentially. It needs to have at least about 32% fat. And I'm going to pour that right into my mixing bowl. I've got the butterfly whisk attachment already inserted. It's like one of those quickest things you can make and it tastes just so awesome. And all you do is you pop it on speed 4 until you can hear the mixing bowl going really, really fast and almost sounding like as if it's trying to sort of spin through some laundry. That's when you know your protein has separated and essentially you now have some buttermilk and some really solid butter. I'm going to put that on and I'm going to show you once I've done it how it should look and what you can do from there. It's been about 1 minute 20 seconds, so roughly around that time to up to 1 minute 30, that's essentially when your cream will start curdling in the right way and produce that lovely butter and buttermilk. This is what it looks like for me, and it's perfect basically. So you can see there's butter and it's separated from that buttermilk. Don't forget, this buttermilk won't be like a normal buttermilk. It's not exactly the same because it's a lot thinner. You can still use it in any recipe, but just bear in mind that you might need to add some extra flour to your recipe. So, for example, if you make scones and you add some buttermilk to the recipe, just make sure you adjust the flour quantities a little bit with this homemade buttermilk. All I've got now is a strainer, so I've just used the simmering basket. I've placed a little bowl underneath and then I'm going to pop, which you can do is either like a cheesecloth or like a fine mesh cloth or just a really fine mesh tea towel in. Take your butterfly out, make sure that you get rid of any extra butter and then you essentially just pop it through, ensure everything is in there nicely. Come on. Out you go, wonderful. And then all I do from here is essentially just pop it together and not spread it too much at this point. I'm literally just going to put it into one until I've got a round ball and got rid of some of this excess buttermilk. And then all you've got left to do is essentially leave it as it is in a nice ball. Pour the rest of your buttermilk somewhere else. I'm just going to pour it back into my jug for now. Put this simmering basket back into place. Pop this in the fridge for about an hour and you'll see it will set really nicely. The rest of the juice will drip out so you can catch any extra buttermilk and then we can flavour our butter. So I'll show you how to make roasted garlic, wonderful salted butter. The butter has now chilled for about 45 minutes to an hour. And I'm essentially just going to take it out. Actually, I'll open up my Thermomix first. I'm going to take it out. It looks a bit like this now, which is perfect at this stage. You can just use it as it is. You wouldn't have to do anything else if you didn't want to, but I'm going to make a flavoured butter now. So this is the stage where you can bring in all sorts of lovely flavours. And I'm going to actually just drop in this entire block of butter, any bits that I've got left. Pop this back to the side. And what I've done is I've roasted some garlic, a whole garlic bowl for about 45 minutes at around 200 degrees, wrapped in lots of foil. What happens is the garlic completely caramelizes. I then open it up and then squeeze out any of the garlic that is left now, which is completely caramelized, baked, and therefore also a lot more digestible than any other garlic would be. Fresh garlic is a lot less digestible and I find I struggle with that. So I tend to roast garlic for a long time. It releases completely different aromas. It completely changes the way the garlic tastes and feels, and also it's just really beautiful. So I'm just going to take that out as much as I think and then pop it right in. Another top tip for making cultured butter at this stage: if you were to use cultured butter, if you were to want to make cultured butter, you just use the same cream that we've used at the beginning, but you're going to pop in some buttermilk, just a couple of tablespoons of buttermilk, and actually leave that cream for 24 hours at room temperature. what it will do is it will start culturing, and that's exactly what you want. And then you follow this entire process exactly to the same point as I've done. So that's the way to make really beautiful cultured butter at home in the same simple steps. Now I've got my garlic in there. I'm also going to drop in some really nice salt. I usually tend to use salt granules or salt flakes, sea salt flakes. Nice high quality, and just again, however I feel. You don't have to add in too much. At this stage you could also introduce some nice herbs or spices. You could put in some nice roasted red peppers or whatever you really feel like. It's totally up to you. You could also make honeycomb butter at this point, so obviously just leave the garlic out and leave the salt out and put some honeycomb in there or some salted caramel. God, there's so many things you can do. I'm going to do garlic, and I'm just going to pop it on speed 6. And it's just really 5 to 10 seconds. You just need it to be actually incorporated. What you could at this point do is you can actually whip it instead. So you could make whipped, cultured butter, which is like a super trendy mega term. And it's like, oh my God, if you make that at a dinner party, everyone will go, ooh, look at her, how fancy she is. So make that at home if you really like to impress people. I just keep it simple today, and that is how my butter looks now. It's really beautiful, it's creamy, it's lovely, and all I need to do now, and that's my last top tip for making epic butter at home, is I'm going to pop it onto some foil, a bit of cling film. You could also use foil or any other wrap you've got. If you have beeswax wraps, you can use those as well, no worries. And then I literally just take my butter as it is. Make sure to distribute it in one sort of slightly rectangular shape. You want to create a nice sausage, so that's what you're doing right now. Just distributing it on your cling film until everything is used. It's just a great way of storing it, really. And there you are. Then all you do is, because it's a really pliable consistency right now, is you roll it up into a almost sausage shape, and then you start making a candy wrapper like this. All that's doing is it's creating a perfect round shape. It means you can freeze it easily. You could then portion it up really nicely if you are serving it as part of a meal, or you can just pop it onto a nice plate and let people tuck in. That's how I make my butter, and now I tend to put it either in the fridge for a good week or in the freezer for however long you think. It probably lasts for at least 3 to 6 months if you can ever bear waiting that long to make your own butter and eat it. But that is how you make Thermomix butter. Really simple, really easy. And if you want more videos like that, please subscribe to my channel, ring that little bell button, and then you'll get notified when my next video goes live. Thanks guys, see you soon.